All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's up, my free thinkers and fellow Barnum warriors? My name is Chris, and this is, of course, Barnum 11970, and we got some stuff I want to show you guys. So, as usual, as I'm waiting for a couple people to start tuning in, um, I left in the comments section of this video the link to the event page, which is on my Google Plus page. So, if you follow me on Google Plus, you're going to be able to do this a lot easier. So, look in the comment section on this particular video if you're watching me from YouTube. There will be a link. Just click on the link, and then it will take you over to the event page. Once you do that, just click on the video, and you will be able to ask any questions you want, make a statement or anything like that. So if you follow me on Google Plus, it's going to be a lot easier. So I'm seeing people starting to come in, so I want to start talking about some more stuff. Now, I was asked a question by one of my, I believe, subscribers. I'm not going to assume. But they asked me, why am I talking about this now, stating that this is old news? This is what we have to keep in mind. When you are in this movement, where you're constantly looking at videos that are in the quote-unquote truther movement, you're going to take for granted that most people know this stuff. And as we could see, just walk out in public, the average person just really doesn't know or doesn't care. So what may be old for someone doesn't necessarily mean this is old for anyone else. Now, I've heard about this stuff, but I didn't really want to touch it. But the more information I started seeing, the more I started questioning things. And then all of a sudden some videos came up, and I'm like, wait a minute. When I saw it, I'm like, this doesn't make sense. And there's an old saying that says, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I've had to delete a lot of nasty messages that people send my way. And they're always people with no profiles, no information, no videos, just people that want to, when they see something that's truthful, they want to attack it. And you'll notice they do a great job of trying to do that and distracting, which is just not going to happen. But there's a saying that I heard, and I thought this was so funny, where they say, and I don't have the exact quote, but it's going to go something like this. If there's one thing I learned about video games is when you're confronted by the enemy, you're going in the right direction. So I'm going to show you a couple extra things, and this is what I want. My job is not to make you believe in anything you don't want to believe in or change your point of view. All I'm going to do is present you things, and you can make up your own opinion. So I'm not going to say this is 100% the way it is. What I'm saying is, here's some things that the media, the schools, the politicians, they'll never show you. They'll just say, here, this is the way it is. Don't question it. We'll give you a bunch of numbers. We'll make things up that make sense. And we want you just to listen to us and believe everything that we say without question. Now, if you want to live in that type of life, you're going to get that. So all I'm asking for here on my channel is not to suggest that we get everything right, because there's no person on the planet other than the creator himself or herself that can actually do that. But we can question things. We can look at things and have an open mind. So I'm going to show you things where you just have to use your common sense. And the funny part is, it's almost, I guess, sad in the sense that there are going to be some people that I actually have to almost baby step them through the videos that I've shown to explain what they're obviously not seeing, because they're so indoctrinated with the numbers and the facts and the things that they've been programmed that they just don't want to shut them down. And it's what I like to call willfully ignorant. So again, I'm going to show you some images here. You could make up your own minds, but the only thing I'm asking for is give it a chance. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to the evidence being presented. Look at the images. And then, as I describe them, make up your own mind. Don't just say, well, I learned this in school, so this is the way it is. Because they can always justify things. Just like when they talked about, Area 51, where people supposedly saw, unidentified flying objects, they change it into a weather balloon. I mean, they can always make something sound logical. Be careful when they're trying to steer you in one direction. I'm not steering you in any direction. I'm showing you possibilities, and you can make up your own mind from there. So with that being said, again, if you want to ask questions or make statements, and I see a lot of people are in, so welcome. I'm glad there are plenty of free thinkers out there that are tired of being programmed and want to have their open mind. If you want to ask questions or make statements, I put the link to my Google Plus page in the comments section. So check that out. Click on the link. It'll take you to the Google Plus page. follow me there. It's a lot easier for you. And then when you see the live broadcast there, click on it, and you'll have the ability to ask questions or make statements, and I encourage them. So the first thing you're going to see is, as you could see, the map. You have, these are supposed to be live snapshots of the Earth. One in 2007, one in 2015. I want you to focus on the United States. Look at 2007. Look how small it is. Look at 2012. Look how big it is. So according to these pictures right off the bat, the Earth, at least the United States, has grown. Because look how big South America is as compared to the United States. And look how small it is now. Almost to the point where it's almost going to the South Pole. I mean, if you're talking just in the United States alone, we're almost at the North Pole according to this. So that's just one picture. So I'm going to go into something that I find funny, because most people are going to quote scientists, the ones on TV, the ones that are programming you and insulting others, thinking it's cool, and they get a bunch of followers and cheerleaders that'll applaud their programming because, you know, when you pay somebody enough money, they'll sell their soul in a heartbeat. But one of the scientists that some people seem to just love to listen to is Neil deGrasse Tyson. Now, I'm going to do a screen share, and I'm going to show you not what I think or what I say. I want you to hear it from his mouth directly about what he thinks about the Earth. So let's first do the screen share and listen in. So put up your volume if you have to, and listen to his words. And again, with fair use, I can only show a little bit of the clip, so keep that in mind. Let me do it. So here we go.
So you spin, you know, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. It gets wider in the middle. So Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the pole. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good way. It's like pear-shaped. Yeah. So it turns out the pear-shapedness is bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level.
Okay, so we're going to stop there. Now look at this picture. This is a more recent day, quote-unquote, photograph of the Earth. Does anybody think of that looking anywhere remotely close to a pear shape at all? So even though there are numerous photos that you see videos saying that they're proving this stuff, never once do you see anything that goes in the direction of what he's saying. They're supposed to be telling you it's round, it's a ball, it's like a marble, and yet he's there with his own words telling you that it's pear-shaped. Okay, so what is the truth? Is it round like a ball, or is it pear-shaped? That's hearing it directly from the scientist. So I'm going to show you that video again, and keep in mind, and this is where I find it so silly, because if you know anything about the countries and how they discovered the plate tectonics and how they figured out that the planets, the countries, the continents actually merged from one point. It was actually kids that were putting little puzzle pieces of the countries together and noticed that they fit together, where they actually got the idea that at one point they were all connected. So it's not always going to be the super scientist. Sometimes it's just somebody that sees an image and they can actually formulate something. So if people want to, and like I said, I got a lot of attacks from people, like nasty stuff. I mean, you know, you're allowed to disagree, but can you do it civilly? But I'm talking about the fact, I'm going to point out several different things in this video that don't make sense to the eye. And we're going to point these out. And again, people were saying that the video's too short. I don't understand that, because there are two things that happen that I don't think people understand. The first part of the video, and I'm showing the same one, where it goes upward. You see it's very bright here. Then, hours later, they show it going down, and there's darkness. So there are hours that have passed in these time-framed, time-lapse photographs. This is not a constant video. They made a video out of the repeated pictures. And you will notice, I want you to focus right here on what is supposed to be the Earth. You will notice that even when it rises, and even after it sets, there's a couple of things that don't change. All right, so let's hit play. And again, fair use. I'm only going to show a part of it. Okay, so these are still images, and you're going to see, notice how it's not going to spin at all. Now, here's another part. You ever notice when you look at the moon, no matter what, like unless it's a full moon, you always see a shadow? Well, according to this, you're seeing the Earth completely bright, which means the sun would be behind the camera. Okay? Now, you're going to notice that no matter how high it goes or how low it goes, there is never any shading. Now, let me ask you, don't we revolve around the sun? Or the sun spins and rotates and the Earth is going around? Shouldn't there be shadows starting to form in either side? That's why we get things like half moons and crescent moons and new moons. But yet, as you see this going, you are seeing nothing moving. You're seeing no shadow difference. This is staying completely bright. And as it's rising, so this is time-lapse photography, there is no shadowing, which would suggest that the sun is not moving, if this is accurate. So let's speed it up a little bit. Look, okay, again, still rising. Notice that everything is still the same. Notice there's no shadow on the Earth at all. It's still completely in the sunlight. Notice how nothing's changing. Now, notice where it says here, see this? Earth set. So now it's going in reverse. Look how dark it is now. So time has passed. The sun is no longer illuminating. And yet look what magically happens. Do you see a shadow on here at all? So you see darkness here, which means the sun has moved, and yet you still see the face of the Earth completely bright. Can someone please explain this? You do not see any stars in the sky. Remember, the moon does not have an atmosphere. And notice, look at the clouds. They are still the same. Everything is the same as when it went up in the other direction. I mean, how do you not notice that and not see it? Look as it's going. Not one bit is moving. And these are time-lapsed photos. This is not a full stream video doing live movements. This is a couple of pictures, then a couple more pictures. That's why when you saw when I did the fast version, it kind of pauses every few seconds because there are gaps. But notice, look at it, not one bit of shadowing at all. It's completely full all the way up and all the way down. So if we're supposedly spinning around like some people are saying, and they say it's slower and all this other stuff, and they're doing all these technical numbers that they've been programmed, pictures are worth 1,000 words. So you tell me, why is there no quarter Earth, half Earth, no shadowing at all? When you clearly see, and notice how the light, it's getting a little lighter here. So there's different lighting on the moon, and yet not on the Earth. But yet when you look at the moon, you will see, even if you stared at the moon for a couple of hours, you will start to see the shadows. So the people that say, oh, there's not enough time in that video, this video shows it first rising when there's sunlight totally shining on the moon. And as it goes down, you saw it got dark and it got even brighter. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, my job is to try and point out things that most people may not realize, to think in ways that most people do not think. I mean, like I said, look at these two pictures that I'm showing. Look at how small the United States of America Corporation looks in 2007 image. And then look how big it is now. Are you telling me that our country grew? Did somebody stretch it? I mean, these are things, I think it's almost embarrassing to the point, it's like, I showed the other video that I made earlier today, and if you haven't seen it, please watch it. Several different videos where they have, different speeds, different thoughts, different shadings. The planet looks different. It's bigger, it's smaller, it's going faster, it's going slower, it's not moving at all. And everybody always comes up with an excuse. So here's my thing. If you go through life without being able to question things other than what you've been programmed, there's nothing we can do if you choose to be willfully ignorant. I'm showing images that, to me, make me at least question it. If you look at that and you could still walk away saying, oh, you're absolutely wrong, you're absolutely crazy, and you can't see it, then there's no helping those people. So when it comes to me, when information comes, it always comes to me at the time I'm ready for it. There is no agenda here. If I all of a sudden see information, I'm going to go with it. So you can draw your own conclusions, but after you see that stuff and you point out the fact that it's not pear-shaped, even though you heard Neil deGrasse Tyson, who everybody worships for some reason, he's a paid shill, say it in his own voice that the Earth is supposed to be pear-shaped. Either one of these look anything more than a round ball. Now, I'm not going to suggest that the Earth is flat. I don't know what it is, but all I know is what they're showing us is supposed to be live HD cameras of what's supposed to be the planet of Earth. Why is it always different? Why is it not rotating? Why were the clouds the same? Why was there no shadowing on the planet? Why were there no stars in the sky when there's no atmosphere on the moon? Why is it some videos show stars while others don't, and they all claim to be live HD cameras that are coming from satellites out in space? And also, by the way, when you look at any of those videos from satellites supposedly looking down on Earth, you don't see any of the 15,000 satellites that are roaming all over the place. Because remember, the higher up you go, the colder it gets. And last time I checked, machinery doesn't work properly as it gets too cold. It's just, it's easier to just say, well, I want to go with what I'm programmed. It's easier. It's absolutely easier. I could just pretend none of this stuff exists. I wouldn't have to worry. But I am so sick and tired of finding out almost every single thing that I've been taught as a child and as an adult is wrong, is a lie, is to deceive you. And we're finding more and more out. When are people going to get sick and tired of the lies? I mean, it's almost embarrassing how sloppy they are with this stuff. It's almost like they don't care anymore. It's almost like they're sitting there saying, we could pretty much put any crap we want out because we'll just make up some stupid story and we'll laugh at the people who question it and we'll get others to mock them as well. No one's going to do anything. And the sad part is they're absolutely right. Of all the people that watch this video, I would be surprised if more than 5 people wanted to do anything about it, or even share the video. And I hope I'm wrong. I put myself out there for this stuff because I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired of being lied to, for whatever reason. I don't know their reason, because I'm not there, but I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of having my intelligence insulted. So those people that have gone to these universities and they hear all the numbers crunching and they could say, well, it's supposedly moving at 32.3 degrees north and it's bilateral wind turbulence and the sun rays are this and, the camera angle lens is making a distortion. You could make up any bullshit you want to make anything justified. I can put enough sugar and caramel on a pile of dog shit and make it taste like a Twix bar. Doesn't mean it's good. So if you want to be justified with whatever people tell you, you're going to be fooled for the rest of your life. You're going to be controlled for the rest of your life. And I've said it before and I said it again. And that's why it's like, as much as I agree more with like somebody like Trump than I do Hillary, neither one is going to solve the problem. Because if you listen to even what Trump's saying, he wants to build that wall. Remember, not only do walls keep people out, it also keeps people in. Don't forget that. He's also talking a lot of military stuff. He also talks about things like, for example, I don't agree with how they do the free trade right now because it definitely takes advantage of our local business because we can't compete with going overseas because they don't have to pay the taxes we do. But if he has the attitude of, oh, we'll just walk away, well, just imagine if all the deals that we have with China and them, with all those cheap products you get at Walmart, if all of a sudden he walks away. Now, he's a billionaire. It's not going to hurt him. But the average person that now has to go from getting a DVD player or let's say a Blu-ray player for $50 now would probably have to pay $200. You think they're going to be able to afford them anymore with that? So you got to be careful what people say. And I've always said, if you have 99 pounds of ice cream and you mix in one pile of crap, what do you have? You have 100 pounds of crap. I'm just not afraid to question things. And yes, I'm going to get attacked. I'm going to get the same people say, oh, you're an idiot. Oh, you're dumb. At least some of them are smart enough to spell it Y-O-U''. At least they're smart enough to start figuring that out. But are you tired of being lied to? It's insulting to your intelligence. These images, and to have this person who's supposed to be a renowned scientist telling you that the Earth is pear-shaped, and yet I'm showing you an image from 2007 to 2012, and pretty much looks round to me. It doesn't look like a pear, does it? And yet the continents have either grown or shrunk. I would love for some scientist to explain how that happened. But they'll always come up with some reason. Well, it's an optical illusion because, the atmosphere is at a certain angle and the degree of light, it prisms. I mean, you can make anything sound fancy. Remember, caviar is nothing more than fish eggs. Escargot is nothing more than snails. They can make fancy words and, really long speeches, but bullshit is bullshit. And if you're tired of it, spread things like this. Stop being afraid to question. And if you're so far gone that you cannot unchange your programming, then what the hell are you doing here? Because if I'm supposedly wrong, then why do you need to attack me? Why do you need to insult me? Because if I was wrong, you'd get a lot of pleasure in thumbing it up and sharing it, because you'd want people to say, oh, look at this idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Because remember, like I said, if I learned anything about playing video games, when you're confronted by the enemy, you're going in the right direction. So, Joe Jamawa Neo Dramatics Ingress, that's a long name, says, hi, Chris. I'm going to say hello really quick. And I'm going to end the video right here. I'm not going to make it that long. Look at the video evidence, research, open your mind, be a free thinker. Stop being programmed, stop being told what to do, how to think, what to believe. Because they're just going to make you that shit sandwich, and they're just going to coat it with sugar and caramel and all these wonderful things, and it's going to taste good, but it's going to kill you. Stop letting other people control your life. I'm here to point out stuff. Yeah, it's silly maybe at times. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's different. But like they say, the truth is stranger than fiction. Thanks for all the people that took the time to listen to this. I hope you will continue to have an open mind and stop being controlled. Love you all. Peace out. And just stop.